Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Family is the backbone of society. If family is broken, is destroyed, we destroy the society. Today we witnessed the worst family division. For me, it's my first time I've seen a dad witnessing against a son. I know a son can sell his dad, but a dad can never sell his son. The biggest mistake that Deputy Governor made, he may have made many other mistakes, but the biggest one he'll have made in his life, it is to bring a father to witness against the dad. I'm not a prophet, but this may cause your impeachment. But going forward, ensure when the dust settles, ensure you go, unite those two families, bring them back where they were, and ensure you return that money for your peace. Because wherever you are, all what we need is peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'm a woman of few words. Thank you.
Senator Mogeni. Senator Mogeni.
Mr. Speaker, sir, it's been a painful experience sitting through this impeachment inquiry, more so as a son who lost a parent at an early age. Mr. Speaker, with a heavy heart, I sat and witnessed the evidence of Senior Joseph Misati taking the bold step of disowning his own son in the view of cameras, in the eyes of the Omogusi people. Mr. Speaker, I cannot overstate the solemnness I feel as I prepare to cast my vote on behalf of the people of Nyamira. Mr. Speaker, sir, I've gone through a lot of reflection and second guessing, but I've made the decision, Mr. Speaker, that tonight I stand with the boy child of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Tonight, Mr. Speaker, the one vote that I carry from the county of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, will be to sympathize with a boy child who has had the misfortune of losing his mother, but who has also been subjected to an episode where he has been disowned by his father in the view of all Kenyans. Tonight, Mr. Speaker, I cast my vote in support and standing with the many youths who are jobless, but who may never get their job because they are being asked to pay a bribe. Mr. Speaker, tonight, I will cast my vote with passion, reason, and without fear, while knowing, Mr. Speaker, that the Constitution that we enacted as the people of Kenya wants Kenyans of integrity, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, Mr. Speaker, I hope that the decision that this Senate is going to take will be a moment of reflection for two Kenyans. Mr. Robert Monda, the governor of Kisii, and Joseph Misati, the father of Dennis Misati. As you go back to the hills of Gusii Nation, take a reflection that family is more important than the positions that we hold in this republic. I close my submissions.
Senator Wafula.
Mheshimiwa Spika, nashukuru sana kwa nafasi hii. Ninapotazama mbele yangu, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni Wakenya ambao wanatutazama, vijana ambao kwa siku nyingi wamekuwa natafuta ajira, na wao, nikizungumza na maseneta wenzangu, vijana wengi huja katika maeneo yetu ya makazi na ofisi kutafuta kazi. Lile ambalo naibu wa gavana amepitia leo ni kwamba baba aliambatana na mwanawe kutafuta kazi. Tunapopiga kura leo na Wakenya wanapotutazama, hizi ndizo changamoto viongozi hupitia kuwatafutia kazi. Kuna wale viongozi ambao ni fisi wamevaa ngozi za kondoo, na kuna wale viongozi ambao hufanya kazi. Mheshimiwa Spika, yale ambayo pia nimeona hapa Mheshimiwa Spika, japo kuna wale watapona kwamba naibu gavana alitoa shilingi 1,100, lakini wale tunajua siasa za kaunti, Mheshimiwa Spika, baadhi ya viongozi hupata asilimia fulani wa mgao wa hongo zinazotoka, na naomba idara za serikali ziwachunguze wale ambao huenda wataepuka. Huenda walirudisha pesa hizi kwa sababu kitita hakikuja jinsi walivyokubaliana. Sasa lazima baada ya hapa tuamulike hao watu. Huenda wanaponyoka, lakini lazima tuwanase. Mheshimiwa Spika, kaunti zetu zinatokota na ufisadi. Nimeona pale ma MCA wakilalamika walinyolewa, ni sawa. Nimeona baadhi ya viongozi wale walinda usalama katika kaunti kwamba walichukuliwa kufanya kazi, ni sawa. Lakini kama jumba la Senate lazima tuwaendee hao majamaa, kwa sababu makachero wa kaunti hawezi kuwa walifanya kazi kupitia Roho Mtakatifu. Haiwezekani, lazima walitumwa, na kama si naibu wa gavana kuna mtu aliwatuma, lazima wakamatwe. So Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa niaba ya vijana wa nchi ya Kenya, wana haki ya kazi, wana haki ya mshahara, wana haki ya kuoa mabibi wazuri, kuzaa watoto wengi. Ni haki ya serikali kuhakikisha. Mimi ni mfuasi wa Solomoni, Mheshimiwa Spika. Leo kura itakayopigwa ni kutetea ugatuzi, kutetea yeyote ambaye anatafuta ajira popote Kenya hii. Na vile vile Mheshimiwa Spika, siasa imejadiliwa. Lazima tutaangalia mustakabali wa magavana na manaibu wao. Isiwe
Senator Ledama.
Mr. Speaker, these last 2 days, to me, will remain to be the saddest days in the institution of a family in this Republic of Kenya, and particularly the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. It reminds me of 1998, when I was a student in America, and the former president of the United States of America, William Jefferson Clinton family, was the center of the investigation. Where I come from, Mr. Speaker, a family is supposed to be a strong bond that unites all its members, that provides security, that leads people. But, and very unfortunate, we have been invited to be able to come in between a family. I'm so sad, Mr. Speaker, because I've seen a father testifying against a son testifying against a father, and the father roping in a stepmother. Mr. Speaker, what example are we showing to the younger generation? I'm torn in between, Mr. Speaker. Although I believe that in certain circumstances, it is imperative to be able to separate between family ties and integrity. Mr. Speaker, today I'm torn between a hard place and a rock. I've been invited to try and make a decision, to try and argue that whatever was being shown here is a family that has gone bad, that requires prayers. I want to invite you, my brothers and sisters, for the integrity of the family, to vote consciously and to remember that in certain circumstances, to be able to preserve the rule of law, you have to make those hard choices. I pray for the community of Kenyans who live in Kisii, that when their sons and daughters retrieve back and go after this event today, they can be able to reflect on the institution of a family. It is imperative, Mr. Speaker. I conclude by saying, although I've witnessed something that I never thought I would witness in my life, as I sit there, I remember 1998. I'd hoped that I would never see that in the history of Kenya. But because I've been invited to see it, I'll make a conscious decision.
Senator Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Chapter 6 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 requires that public officers, public servants, state officers must bring honor and dignity to the nation and dignity to their offices. I will leave it to the conscience of the nation, Mr. Speaker, to judge whether or not the behavior and body language of the Deputy Governor of Kisii is fit for him to hold any public office. The Speaker, the Deputy Governor of Kisii has not just lied on oath and on record. He is at the center of a conspiracy to lie to the Senate for purposes of just exonerating himself from blame. Him and his co-conspirator must have a very dim view of the collective basic intelligence of the Senate. The Speaker, the easiest way out for the DG would have been to simply apologize to his brother. Simply fix the mess that he has put one Dennis and one Lucy in. We will not be here at midnight discussing his character. The Speaker, in the interest of time, I have to mention this. The key witness in defense of the DG has broken the hearts of millions of fathers and sons in the country. I want to take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to assure my son Emmanuel that if I am ever to put him in any mess, I will stand with him. It is a shame for a father to put a son in trouble and take a position against his own son. This is not a trivial matter. This is a serious matter. We must fix the mess in Kisii, and Mr. Speaker, for and on behalf of the great people of Kitui County, I will stand to be counted to fix the mess in Kisii County. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to be very brief. Mr. Speaker, the allegation that poor parents and poor students in Kisii County are taken advantage of, Mr. Speaker, where they are required to give bribes in order for them to be awarded bursaries, Mr. Speaker, is not something peculiar with Kisii. This is something that is happening across the counties and across the constituencies, Mr. Speaker, where we have a very desperate students failing to secure a bursary, while some able people who can be able to produce bribes, Mr. Speaker, benefit from these bursaries. For that reason, Mr. Speaker, I think I will stand with the poor that seek bursaries but do not get them, because those that can influence get bursaries, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we all have siblings at home. Some of them may not be as endowed as we are, Mr. Speaker. We cannot, Mr. Speaker, I was touched by the matter of a brother cutting down some trees, Mr. Speaker. Probably he did. Probably he was not right. Probably they were not his trees. But what is the value of some trees, Mr. Speaker, to a person holding the seat of deputy governor? Somebody elected 2 times, a long-serving vet, Mr. Speaker. I think if I was in that position, I would have just let the matter go and, in fact, decided that he's my brother anyway. His problems are my problems, Mr. Speaker. So, but the triviality expressed in that particular instance, Mr. Speaker, and the show of might, many county enforcement officers, Mr. Speaker, and the police just to arrest one man in order for somebody to show that they have a lot of might, Mr. Speaker. And I think that is abuse of office. Mr. Speaker, one thing that also did not go down well with me is that somebody, even after taking a bribe of about 500,000 Kenya shillings or 800,000 Kenya shillings, Mr. Speaker, I may not want to say that it is good to share out the spoils, but how could the deputy governor extend to Lucy only 100,000, surely? Even if we were going to say that the bribery in this particular case was going to be allowed, 100,000 out of 800,000, Mr.
Senator Wamatinga.
Thank you.
Order. Honorable senators, may
thank you very
Senator
much.
Wamatinga be heard in silence, please.
As I rise up, Mr. Speaker, I would want to pose a question to the House. What is the purpose of gaining the whole world and losing your soul? Mr. Speaker, sir, we listened, we watched, we walked along the evidence that was produced in this House. Mr. Speaker, sir, we watched the father and son tear each other apart, Mr. Speaker. It was a painful experience, Mr. Speaker. And for those of us who fathers, who have daughters and sons, that we believe that we want to nurture them to become somebody in this world, I want to speak to all the youth in this country that indeed we're going to make things right so that you'll get opportunities regardless of where you've been born. Mr. Speaker, sir, I stand up here and tell the youth this country belongs to everybody who dares believe in himself. Mr. Speaker, sir, just after the last general elections, I was one of those who believed that the fact that the president and the deputy president come from humble background is indeed a proof that anybody who dares believe has the destiny in his hands. Mr. Speaker, sir, that shattered the glass ceiling. It broke the myth that this country can only belong to those who are born in families of who's who. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is my belief, and I want to walk with my head high, knowing that every youth in this country will have an opportunity. And my challenge to us all, Mr. Speaker, we must make it right. We must provide an opportunity, regardless of the community, of the family background, or where you've gone to school, or where you've been raised. Mr. Speaker, sir, for that alone, I want to urge all the senators, all the delegates in this House to vote in a way that they'll affirm the fact that anybody in this country, regardless whether you can afford the 800,000 or not, you get an opportunity to move ahead and to make a good, decent living. Mr. Speaker, sir, what kind of leaders would we be if we are the ones who will be extorting bribes? 800,000, Mr. Speaker, sir. For some of us, it feels so painful because we know the pain of trying to get where we are, Mr. Speaker. And if we were not given the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, we will not be where we are. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, we would want to give that opportunity to anybody who would want to get there, regardless of where they come from. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I sit down, it is indeed the responsibility of this House to ensure that we inspire our youth, we give them hope, and we actually tell them this country belongs to you if you dare dream. Mr. Speaker, sir, moving forward, I think the devolution committee must get to work so that we never again witness the kind of unfolding that we witnessed, Mr. Speaker. It is very demeaning, it is very humiliating to watch parents and children tear each other apart. Mr. Speaker, sir, I believe with the...
Senator Hamida.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand here and I'm so saddened on this day. Mr. Speaker, we had a woman miscarried, a woman who has been looking for a baby for over 12 years, lost a child. Her dream was shattered. As a mental health champion, I'm wondering, where is justice? Where can they find justice, the family? It can only be gotten here. I know, Mr. Speaker, today, the two, Mr. Dennis and his wife, will find justice at the Senate on behalf of the women senators in this House. I request my colleagues to vote wisely. I want to remind them, justice delayed is justice denied. That woman, where is
and that's
her
how
mental
a
health?
father and a son testified
Where
against
is
each
she
other
going to go?
in Kisii DG's
Has
Robert
her
Monda's
dream been shattered?
impeachment motion at the
I
Senate.
request my
It
colleagues
is quite a
vote
dramatic
wisely. I thank you,
scene.
Mr. Speaker.